My name is Sarah. I'm 32 years old. And the calmest I ever sounded was the moment I told my brother I knew he stole $487,000 from our mother's medical fund. He went white. Not red, white. Because he realized he'd made one critical mistake. He thought I wouldn't find out. My mother was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer at 68. My brother Michael is 38, works in corporate finance, and lives in a house he bought with borrowed money. At the time of her diagnosis, my father had already passed 7 years earlier. Mom had insurance and savings, but cancer doesn't care about coverage. After 18 months, her medical savings dropped to barely $600,000. That's when I made the decision that changed everything. I was working remotely but making decent money. I looked at Mom's calendar, looked at my calendar, and I moved back home. The first week was manageable. By week 3, my entire world was her medical care. I'd wake at 5:47 a.m. every morning because that's when her pain medication wore off. I became her driver to appointments 3 times a week, her physical therapist, her emotional support when she cried at 3 a.m., terrified she'd never see her grandchildren. Where was Michael? He had a very important job. I can't take another day off, Sarah. My boss will notice. Jennifer and I have concert tickets. I just nodded and made another appointment. Years went by. 10 years. Canceled vacations, canceled relationships, canceled ambitions. My friends stopped calling. My romantic life disappeared. Mom's medical bills spiraled. Clinical trials, medications insurance wouldn't cover. Physical therapy, home care nurses. Her savings evaporated. And through it all, Michael sent texts. "How's she doing? You're such a good daughter." The last message was cruelest because it absolved him completely. My goodness became his permission to do nothing. My mother died on a Tuesday morning in March. I was holding her hand. Michael arrived 2 hours later with flowers from a grocery store. He cried convincingly about how grateful he was that I had been there. Like my 10 years of sacrifice was something to admire from a distance rather than share. The funeral was 7 days later. People told me I was brave, that Mom was proud, that I dedicated my entire life to her. These weren't compliments. They were the final statement. This is your role. The daughter who stayed, the good one. After the funeral, the estate was settled. Mom's will split everything equally between us. $20,000 each. Michael called 3 days later. "Sarah, I'm in a financial situation. The house needs a new roof. Jennifer wants renovations. I'm wondering if you'd consider giving up your inheritance and letting me have it all." I was standing in Mom's kitchen, still smelling like her, and my brother was asking me to erase 10 years and pretend it was always just love. Not duty, not labor. Not years I'll never get back, I said no. He got angry, hired a lawyer, contested the will. Then something happened that made me hire a forensic accountant. I noticed large withdrawals from Mom's account. $10,000 here, $15,000 there, sometimes $20,000. Made by someone with power of attorney. Made by someone who said he'd help manage her finances. My brother. I pulled the full account history. 7 years of withdrawals totaling $487,000, not borrowed. Not documented, just gone. I sat at my kitchen table and felt clarity, not anger. My sacrifice was real, but my brother's theft was also real. And I'd spent 10 years making excuses for someone stealing from our dying mother. I printed everything out, every transaction, every date, every amount, and I called him. "Michael, I found the account withdrawals. All $487,000 of them." There was silence. "Sarah, let me explain." That's when I understood. He'd try to reframe it, justify it, make me responsible for understanding his theft. So I cut him off. "You have 48 hours to deposit $487,000 back into Mom's estate account, plus interest, approximately $580,000 total. After that, I'm filing a lawsuit for financial elder abuse and a report with the state attorney general." He started to respond. I hung up. I had hired a forensic accountant. I had consulted with an elder abuse attorney. I had gathered every piece of evidence ready for court. I was precise. Within 24 hours, his lawyer offered $250,000. I declined. Within 36 hours, Michael was crying about financial pressure. By hour 48, exactly, $580,000 was deposited. The lawsuit was filed anyway, because he needed to understand this wasn't about money. It was about accountability. The lawsuit became public record. A reporter found the court documents. Local man steals $487,000 from dying mother's medical fund. It went local, then regional, circulating online. His company asked questions. His wife discovered everything and filed for divorce citing financial infidelity. His social circle treated him differently. He went from ambitious guy with the big house to the guy who stole from his dying mother. That label followed him everywhere. Not because I told people, because truth, once released, moves on its own. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired. Exposing him didn't feel like justice. It felt like I was finally releasing something I'd carried so long I forgot what freedom felt like. The most important thing that happened after everything was me. I took the $170,000 from Mom's estate, combined it with my savings, and started my own business. A consulting firm helping families navigate medical crises and elder care without losing themselves. Within 2 years, I had 30 clients. Within 4 years, I made more monthly than I'd made yearly working for someone else. I hired people who'd been through similar situations. We built something real. Every day I worked without my mother in the house, without my brother stealing, without guilt, without invisible labor. I worked because I chose to. That's the difference that changes everything. People ask if I regret how things happened. Here's what I know. My mother sacrificed her body to cancer. I sacrificed my decade to her care. My brother sacrificed his integrity to greed. The question isn't whether I was cruel. The question is, when someone steals from your dying mother, are you cruel for holding them accountable? Or are you cruel if you don't? I chose accountability, not revenge, not punishment. Just the clear statement that some things cannot be erased. Some things have consequences. Love is not a permission slip to destroy. My mother spent 70 years on Earth. 10 of those, I spent completely present with her. I will never regret those years. They were hard, honest, and mine. What I regret is protecting Michael's comfort while ignoring my own worth. The moment I stopped doing that, everything changed. Not because I destroyed him, because I finally honored myself. My sacrifice was real. My labor was real. My worth was never negotiable. And I will never make myself smaller so someone else can steal from my generosity. If you're sacrificing everything for someone you love while another dismisses it, if you're told your goodness is a given, if you're wondering whether speaking up makes you the bad person, know this. There is a difference between being cruel and being honest. The world needs more women who know the difference. My name is Sarah. I'm 32 years old. And I learned that the calmest I ever sound is when I'm finally telling the truth.